This is Bobbe Shapiro Nolan, and I live in Eagle Lake, Texas, which is a tiny town about 60 miles west of Houston. This quilt is called Gave Up My Woolens When I Moved to This Flat Land. And it's a result of moving from a hilly, pine-strewn area of Texas, where I lived for 20 years, to the coastal plain, which is very, very flat, very humid, and where we grow rice. When I moved down there, after my husband had died, to be closer to my son, I had to empty out the house, 20 years worth of books and papers and clothing and stuff, and realized then, and even more so after I got down to Eagle Lake, that I was probably never going to wear the Pendleton wool jackets, the hand-knitted sweaters, or any of the heavy-duty stuff that I had brought from Minnesota, where I met my husband and where we lived for the first years of our married life. And so I felted the woolens and made them into people. And I made this quilt, which shows our rice fields, which are made out of ripped silk and hand-stitched, our Colorado River, our irrigation, and our little woolen ladies dancing on the bank of the river. While I was doing this, I was simply enjoying the color and the technique, and doing hand stitching gives me a chance to watch television without guilt. After it was over, I felt as though a huge burden had been lifted, because I guess I worked out the emotions that were involved in the moving and the loss to a pretty great extent while making the quilt. And one of the wonderful things that happens with handwork is that while your mind isn't necessarily thinking about it, your fingers are, and the back of your brain is dealing with it, and your emotions are dealing with it. So it was entered here in Sacred Threads in the healing section of the Quilt Show, and I hadn't really thought about it as being a healing quilt until well after I was done, but it fits very well into the exhibition. I'm grateful for the opportunity to show it and share it with other people. It's one of my favorite quilts.